it is 8:01, and now 60 students, 58 in fact, have joined. Earlier, because perhaps I don't know, perhaps I have I have allowed everyone to join, or I don't know why people are so I'll start now denying people. Either you come in time or you don't come. As simple as that. This is, don't take it as a party or wherein you can just walk in with your hands in your pant. No. This is a class, and class should be considered as a class only. Why cannot you come 10 minutes before, bhai? No, I'll deny the entry to everyone. In fact, I'll send a message that I'll block all of you, those who come late, maybe for 10 more classes. It is irritating when I deny. Okay, let us just proceed. Let me send a message. Just hold on for a second. This is stupid. I am just sending a message. Just wait for a minute. I mean, people have taken it for granted that they make sure that they will come late. If they cannot get up in time, get them lost. Okay, I have sent a message. I'll continue denying everybody. Let 58 people remain present, and in these 58 also, intermittently at every different interval, I'll call somebody's name randomly, and one should be physically as well as mentally present. Respond to whatever questions, whatever clarifications I am asking, either through voice messages or through chat box. Okay. We were, let me just come to the screen. I was explaining to you about the, this part I was explaining you about the adjustment entries. So I was, where were we? Adjustment entries we explained to you, and in a slide, I explained that, we are recording them twice. Just look at that slide. Now, people, just 1 second. Let me also share. You may be receiving these messages in your this cell phone also. It is 8:01. It is 8:03. As if coming late is their birthright. I mean, if I have given you 5 minutes margin, it does not mean that you can claim it as your right. From today onward, it will be 8:05:00:01 second. What nuisance! I mean, if late coming is allowed, maybe for some reason, maybe you could not get connection, there was some electricity problem, there can be several reasons, but that does not mean that you can claim it as your right. Class starts at 8, that means 8 only. I am yet to see such stupid people. I mean, coming late and trying to force entry. So, in that slide earlier, I just put a question also to you. Okay, why is it that we are showing it twice? So some of you correctly answered that it was because of the duality concept. There can be one more reason. That reason that can be there can be one more reason. Can any one of you explain what is that reason? Am I audible to all of you?
Yes, sir.
What could be the reason? One reason you have explained that it is because of duality. Other fact, what I can tell you is, just 1 second. That fact is because everything that you are writing in the form of adjustment entry, it is being written outside the trial balance. When I say outside the trial balance, I mean this I mean that when this is an entry in itself, this is a fresh entry. So whenever we record an entry, naturally it is to be recorded in double entry system. That is debit and credit both. Had it been within the trial balance, that means it would have already been passed through the double entry test. One would have been debited and the other would have been credited. Therefore, we are recording it twice. Now, once this is over, before I proceed, if you have some questions on this one, please ask those questions. Otherwise, I'll explain you something which I have thought of for today, including which is listed in your this one also, daily schedule. If you have some clarification, please ask. Okay. If there are no yes, please go ahead.
Sir, I am not able to understand other reason.
Okay. I'll explain it once again. See, look at any example of adjustment entry. These are the adjustment entries. For example, take anything, expenses payable. Everything that you have done in your so far would have already passed the test of debit and credit, would have already been transferred, would have already been done through debit and credit. If you look at this, in any example, say depreciation. So you are charging depreciation at the end of accounting year. So that means this transaction would not have taken place earlier. Had it taken place earlier, you would have debited and credited. But because it is taken for the first time, therefore it is to be recorded twice. Because anything which happens in the company in the light of double entry system, in the light of debit and credit, we need to record it twice. So every entry that you have recorded in your profit loss account and balance sheet, that you have taken from your trial balance. And trial balance means you have already, these entries would have already been debited and credited. Therefore, we are recording, all those we are recording only once in profit and loss account or in balance sheet. But these were not recorded before. They are outside the purview of trial balance. Therefore, we are recording them twice. Once in profit loss account, the other in balance sheet. I also remember having asked you one more question. Is it possible to record that each time one is to be recorded in a profit loss account and the other in balance sheet? Or is it possible that both effect can be recorded in balance sheet or both effect can be recorded in profit and loss account? I ask you to think over it. If you have thought, you can share. Okay, if not, still you get some time. See, for me, it's very easy. I can immediately tell you the answer. But this concept should not. Yes. Can somebody share?
So it can be recorded in both the slides, both the accounts together. Like for example, the closing stock as well. The closing stock can be recorded in the it is recorded in the balance sheet as well. On the other side, it can be recorded in the P&L account too.
Okay. Any example wherein one can be recorded only in one statement, either in profit loss account or in balance sheet? Or is it possible that one adjustment entry can be recorded only in balance sheet, not in profit and loss account? That was my question.
Sir, for example, like those debentures and all, they can be only included in a balance sheet, not in P&L as well.
Okay,
So-
but no. Just when you said debenture, there has to be a transaction. There has to be some specific. So what is that transaction? Example, I am telling you, the transaction say depreciate fixed asset by 30%. It is a transaction. So what is the transaction that you wish to refer to when it comes to debentures?
Sir,
Yes, think over. Somebody write paying to creditors. No, this Muskan is writing paying to creditors. Now, when you make payment to creditors, does it take place prior to the preparation of trial balance or after? Yes, Muskan, prior or after? Is Muskan present?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The question that I want you to answer, payment to creditor, does it happen prior to the preparation of trial balance or after?
Sir, it is not fixed whether it will happen after preparation of trial balance
Okay.
or
okay,
before.
Okay. Now the example that you wish to give me, tell me, have you thought of it prior or after?
And sir, in what sense?
See, you are writing payment to creditors. Okay. Now payment to creditor means assume just one of the two things. Your trial balance you are making on 31st December. When was the payment made? Before 31st December or after 31st December?
Sir, before 31st.
It would have been recorded.
Yes, sir.
When it would have been recorded, the person's account would have been debited, bank account would have been credited, and both would have been posted in the respective ledgers and would have reflected in the trial balance. So this is not an entry which is outside the purview of trial balance or which is taking place after the trial balance is ready. Depreciation is an example I gave you. Once your trial balance is ready, it is only taking place thereafter. If you say income tax due, it is only taking place once the trial balance, both sides were equal, or once we were ready, our trial balance was ready. Have you got the answer or?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any other question?
So, but we have made the trial balance for the whole accounting year.
Okay. Okay.
Why there are some entries which happen after that year?
Okay. I explained to it before, but still I'll explain it once again. We have made the trial balance. Just one second. We have made a trial balance from 1st January to 31st December. There are several entries which are not possible prior to the completion of trial balance. I'll give you just one example. Let us say you have to provide a reserve on your debtors, thinking that some may not pay, 1%, 2% may not pay. So you will provide 1%, 2% on a particular figure. Which figure will this be? Total of debtors, that is sundry debtors. Correct? How will you know the correct total unless your trial balance is ready? Isn't it? The trial balance first of all has to be made. Only then we will come to know that our figures are correct. Number two, you cannot estimate it before the year end. 1% is to be calculated, 2% of a particular figure is to be calculated. But which figure shall we take? Same is true for charging depreciation on fixed assets. That you will do only once the year is over, once the accounting period is complete. Making provision for taxes to be paid. You will pay taxes on which figure? You will pay taxes on profit. Profit cannot be calculated unless revenues are summed and expenses are also summed, and then you take a difference between the two. Isn't it?
Yes.
Therefore, another example, if it is a partnership business or a sole trader business, and within sole trader business, your decision was that you will pay 10% of the profit to manager. He is entitled 10% of the profit. Of which figure you will calculate 10%? You will calculate 10% of profit. How will you calculate profit unless your profit loss account is ready? How can you calculate profit and loss account or prepare profit loss account unless your trial balance is ready? Isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So we have to make these entries only after the trial balance is ready. This is the logic that we follow. Any further question?
So the only mentioned entries could be placed after trial balance.
After trial balance, and these entries are recorded, taken to journal, taken to trial balance, and then we show it in the balance sheet like I showed you in the yesterday's slide.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Now this is, we were discussing profit loss account and adjustment entries. Profit loss account in reality, in practice, is prepared. There are three contents or three parts of profit loss account. Especially those who have not done their commerce earlier, they should now listen to it carefully. There are three parts of profit loss account. One part is trading account. The other part is profit and loss account. This I have mentioned. Let me just do it in a different font. Profit and loss account. And the third one is profit and loss appropriation account. Profit and loss appropriation. So this third one will be applicable only in case of a company. The first two will be applicable in case of the sole trader or partnership. In case of a sole trader or partnership, the third section or third category of third part will not be applicable. Those two forms of business organization, sole trader or partnership, will have only these two, trading and profit and loss account. Why is it so that only a what we call only a limited company prepares this profit and loss appropriation account? The reason is that a company form of business where you have shareholders, the dividend is paid to them. Part of it is paid, part of it is retained. In case of trading account and in case of individual or partnership, the profit is added to capital. Therefore, there is no need for appropriation. Appropriation means how are you distributing your profit? How are you distributing your profit? Okay. Now I'll explain to you how do we make these three types of account. One is a trading account, profit loss account, profit and loss appropriation. I have discussed enough with you what all do we write in debit side, what all do we write in credit side. Debit side we write expenses, credit side we write income. Now look at the difference between trading and a profit loss account. In trading we are writing all direct expenses. In profit loss account we are writing all indirect expenses. This too was explained to you before. Similarly, in trading we are writing direct revenue, that is sales. Sales is an example of your direct revenue, and there can be some indirect income. These also I have explained to you. Now this is just a small illustration wherein you have come up with a net profit of rupees 40,000. This has been explained to you way before. This part is new for all of you. For most of you, this part is new. Now look at this figure, net profit of 40,000. This profit we have transferred to credit side of profit and loss appropriation account. We discussed only up to this part which I am highlighting. Earlier we had discussed up to this part only, net profit. This is the additional one which I am discussing today, profit and loss appropriation account. So this profit of rupees 40,000 we have transferred to the credit side. In debit side we are writing what use are we making of this 40,000. Had this been a sole trader business, this amount would have been added to capital. Very simple. But now it is a company form of business. Therefore, we will do what shall be the appropriation. How shall we distribute? What shall we do with this 40,000? So what we are doing with 40,000? 15,000 we are paying in the form of taxes. 10,000 we are paying dividend to the preference shareholder. I'll explain this a bit, maybe in about 2 minutes. We are paying 10,000 to the as a dividend to preference shareholder. 10,000 we are paying as a dividend to equity shareholder, and 5,000 we are transferring to reserve. Okay, now let me explain what all these are. Taxes, you know what are taxes. Once you earn profit, you pay taxes to the government. The procedure of paying taxes is that every quarter company prepares its profit and loss account. Every quarter company makes the profit and loss account, and whatever is estimated profit, company pays taxes on that. So Q1, Q2, Q3, etc., the company continues to pay. Thereafter, in the final year, when the final quarter company reaches final quarter, the total tax liability is assessed Whatever it has already paid is subtracted and the balance is paid. So 15,000 rupees is the tax that company would have paid. From this money, company paid 10,000 rupees dividend to the preference shareholders. Now, who are the preference shareholders? Company can take money from the shareholders on profit and loss sharing basis. If there is a profit, they will get dividend. If there is no profit, they will get no dividend. More profit, more dividend. Less profit, less dividend. This is what usually happens. There is another category of shareholders known as preference shareholders. Their categories, they are shareholders and their category is preference shareholders. These people are not owner of the company. That means their dividend or their profit is not dependent on the profit of company. No matter what happens in the company, profit or loss, they will continue to receive the dividend which was fixed. Company may say that preference shareholders will get 9% dividend. So no matter profit or loss, company will continue, preference shareholders will continue to receive their dividend. They will be paid prior to the payment of equity shareholders. That is why they are called as preference shareholders. Preference is given to them in the payment of a dividend. So company will pay them dividend first. Then company will pay dividend to equity shareholders. How this decision takes place? 10% or 12% or 15%. How does this decision take place? This decision happens. This is an agreement. So company will pay. This is a law. Company will pay. About this part, how much dividend should be paid? Who should decide that how much dividend should be paid? Yes. Anyone can answer if somebody knows.
Shareholders.
Shareholders will decide. How will shareholders decide?
So board of directors.
Board of directors will decide. Or
So agreement between shareholders and the owners.
who are owners? Who are owners?
Board of director.
Board of directors. Then who are shareholders?
So preference shareholder, equity shareholders are themselves owners.
Are they owners or not?
Are the owners.
Are they owners? Who are board members? Are they owners or not?
Sir, they are not.
They are not. Now let me explain. Partly some answers are correct, partly answers are not. When a company, this is a very simple way of just remembering. Whenever a company is formed, so depending on the nature of company, let us say 7 people will join hands and they will contribute initial capital and put up an ad in the newspaper. We are forming this company. This is the prospectus. This is what we need to produce and sell. This will be our market, and we are selling shares of this company. Whosoever is interested can buy. Known as IPO. So 7 people will contribute. Initial money, where others will buy a small amount of shares. This word small or large is relative. Owners, those 7 people will be the owners of the company, will be the main owners, you can say, or stakeholders of the company. Other people who will buy the share will also be the owners, in proportion to the shares they are holding. If you take an example of Reliance, within Reliance, if you take an example of Mukesh, and within Mukesh, if you take an example of a specific company that he, let's say energy, he establishes. So he will float the shares. So some shares will be held in his name, some in his son's names, and his daughter's names, and his daughter-in-law's name, etc., etc. And then remaining shares, public will subscribe. If Mukesh is holding 1,000 shares, public may hold 1 or 2 or 10 shares. So the decision making will be dependent on the voting. Whenever a meeting takes place, decisions are taken based on the majority opinion. Now, whose majority opinion will be there? Majority opinion naturally will be there of those who are in real sense owners, such as Mukesh and his family, because their shareholding will be much more compared to the small number of shares held by individuals. If the general body meeting takes place, all the shareholders are present. Number one, practically it is impossible to hold a meeting. Even a stadium, football stadium will not be enough to hold the meeting. If there are 1 million shareholders, where will this 10 lakh people sit? 2 million people? There are large number, millions of people are there as a shareholders, buying 100 shares, 200 shares, 1000 shares, 10 shares, 20 shares, as against lot number of shares bought by these people. Therefore, the annual general meeting takes place. Annual general meeting, the voting is decided not by individuals. I am holding 10 shares, so my value of share would be, my value of vote would be 10. Somebody is holding 10,000 shares, the value of his vote will be equal to 10,000. It is not a political democracy, it is a corporate democracy, wherein the value of a vote is determined based on the number of shares one has bought. So for all practical purposes, the decisions taken are those by who are holding majority shares. And who will be holding majority shares? These people. Rarely it happens, rarely, I'm saying 1 out of 1,000, 1 out of 10,000, when the opinion of the other side prevails. No, at times it is known as takeover or hostile takeover, or this is entirely new world together. But in, you can say, 99.999% cases, the decision is taken at annual general meeting. The directors propose. Now, okay, the difference between directors and other people. So those 7 people will be the real decision maker. There will be other directors who will be based on the recommendation, based on the law by SEBI, by ministry, by several people. So there will be independent directors. There will be part-time directors. There will be different types of directors because of their expertise in different areas. But they cannot possibly play a decisive role when it comes to decision making. If those people who establish the company, they want to take a particular decision of diversification, of winding up, of making something new, or getting away with a project involving crores and crores of rupees, that decision will prevail because they are real owners. Shareholder at best can say, if we do not agree with this decision, if majority does not agree, naturally decision will be rewarded, it will be reversed. So we were here, equity dividend. This decision will be taken by the company. Decision will be taken in annual general meeting, AGM, wherein a proposal will be put forward, there will be voting, and based on the voting, decision will be taken. 15%, 20%, 30%, whichever they decide. 100% they can decide, even 150%. I have said they can decide even 150% decision. Means profit was 10,000. They take a decision that they will pay 15,000. Is it possible?
So it is possible you can take the money out of reserves and surplus?
Yes, the reserve that you created in the previous years can be used in the current year. Alternatively, a company can take a decision, huge profits are there, but we will pay no dividend. This decision can also be taken. What could be the possible reasons for taking such a decision? If profits are there, but decision will not be paid this year.
So when company wants to save and expend for the future business?
Company want to not save, rather company want to spend, company want to expand. It has huge profitable opportunity and it does not want to raise money through loans. See, if it has an opportunity of investment, it can borrow money and invest. It can use its own accumulated saving. It can have a combination of two. It can go for various options for financing. So if company thinks that financing the profitable opportunities through our own reserves, through our own earnings is better than financing through loans, then company can adopt this option. It is again the decision of board which type of financing should we go for. Should we go for entirely our own retained earning, our own reserves and surplus? Should we borrow money from bank? Should we issue debentures? Should we, several methods are available. The board will take a call. So everything is possible. Then whatever remains is transferred to reserves. That is, this will be known as retained earning. In practice, there will be several types of reserves. You will see when we come to studying the real financial statement of an organization, we will see different types of reserves company can create. So this is how the profit and loss account, every profit and loss appropriation account is made. So these three will be applicable in case of a what you call a company, a limited company. Only two will be applicable: trading and profit and loss account for a partnership or a sole trader business. So this is what I thought I'll cover. Before I proceed to the next part that we need to cover, if there are questions, you can ask.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, if any company become bankrupt, then what will happen to the preferential shareholders? They will get the dividend or not?
Okay. No, I got the question. If company is declared as insolvent, company becomes a bankrupt. Law has made it very clear how will the people associated with the company be dealt with. Who are all associated with the company? Shareholders are there, equity shareholders, preference shareholders, debenture holders, a bank which might have given loan, financial institutions like LIC, others might have given loan, the creditors of the company, workers of the company, isn't it? There are several people who are associated with the company. Now the company has gone bankrupt. Who will get first and what? This is what you want to know?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, in your opinion, who should get first?
Sir, preferential shareholders.
Okay. Or any other name that I have just
Debenture holders.
Workers, sir, workers.
or worker. Okay.
So banks will take their
और बताइए इसके अलावा. You are missing the most important and most influential,
Debenture holder.
most important, most influential, most powerful.
Board of directors.
No. You are forgetting.
Stakeholder.
You must have heard a term called Uncle Sam. सुना है नाम?
No, sir. Yes,
Uncle
yes,
Sam
sir.
नहीं सुना आप लोग? जी? नहीं, फिर बताइए. आपने वर्ड अंकल सैम नहीं सुना?
Yes, sir, सुना है.
हाँ, बताइए क्या है अंकल सैम?
सर वो अमेरिका के एक सर उसमें आते हैं, कार्टून टाइप का है सर.
कार्टून टाइप का आता है. अंकल सैम जो है आम स्लैंग में इनकम टैक्स के लोगों को कहा जाता है, टैक्स अथॉरिटी.
अच्छा.
इनकम टैक्स. तो आप ये भूल गए कि सबसे पहले किसका क्लेम होगा?
गवर्नमेंट.
यस, यू आर राइट. सबसे पहले क्लेम होगा गवर्नमेंट का. अब गवर्नमेंट तो एक एब्स्ट्रैक्ट नाउन है. गवर्नमेंट को तो कोई रिप्रेजेंट करेगा ना. तो कौन रिप्रेजेंट करेगा इस केस में गवर्नमेंट को?
टैक्स.
इनकम टैक्स अथॉरिटीज. तो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल मान लीजिए कंपनी की लायबिलिटीज 1000 रुपीज हैं और कंपनी के टोटल एसेट्स 500 हैं. तो 500 में से सबसे पहले किसको जाएगा? सबसे पहले जाएगा गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया को, जितना भी इस कंपनी के ऊपर टैक्स लायबिलिटी है. इफ देयर इज अ टैक्स लायबिलिटी, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल देयर टैक्स लायबिलिटी विल बी एस्टिमेटेड एंड द गवर्नमेंट विल कलेक्ट इट्स मनी सबसे पहले. अब उसके बाद जो पैसा बचता है, देन देयर इज एन ऑर्डर. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल द मनी विल बी paid to in proportion to the holding to the preference shareholders. अब कितनी किसको दी जाएगी? इस पर्टिकुलर केस में क्या हुआ? लायबिलिटी वाज 1000, असेट्स वर 500. 100 रुपए उसमें से पेमेंट कर दिया गया इंटरेस्ट का, सॉरी टैक्सेस का ना. 400 रुपीज रिमेन. तो क्या हुआ? 40% हर एक को मिलेगा. किस को मिलेगा? सबसे पहले मिलेगा प्रेफरेंस शेयर होल्डर को, उसके बाद अदर क्रेडिटर्स को, उसके बाद जो अब तो 40% मिल जाएगा सब लोगों को, और उसी ऑर्डर में उनको पेमेंट हो जाएगा जिस ऑर्डर में ये नाम इस्टेब्लिश्ड हैं. लेकिन पहला प्रेफरेंस जो होगा, सबसे पहला जो होगा, दीज आर नोन एज प्रेफरेंशियल क्रेडिटर्स. तो प्रेफरेंशियल क्रेडिटर्स जो है वो गवर्नमेंट होती है. सबसे पहले गवर्नमेंट को जाएगा, और गवर्नमेंट के बाद ये प्रेफरेंस शेयर होल्डर्स को, और फिर क्रेडिटर्स को, वर्कर्स को, ये सारे लोग उसके अंदर आ जाएंगे. और जो ओनर्स हैं उनको भी, जो शेयर होल्डर्स हैं उनको भी वही 40% उनका पैसा मिल जाएगा. अब 40% भी हो सकता, 20% भी हो सकता, 10% भी हो सकता, 0 भी हो सकता. क्या ये निगेटिव भी हो सकता? मान लीजिए आपकी 10 रुपए की आपकी शेयर होल्डिंग थी, 10 रुपए की 100 शेयर आपने ले रखे थे 1,000 रुपए, तो क्या ये निगेटिव में भी जा सकता?
No, sir.
No, sir.
नहीं जा, क्यों नहीं जा सकता?
Sir, what if the government has company has paid already to the government?
तो नहीं पे करेंगे फिर? अगर पे कर चुके हैं तो फिर क्यों पे करेंगे?
In advance. Company has paid in advance.
अच्छा, कंपनी ने एडवांस, थ्योरेटिकली तो आपका सवाल बिल्कुल ठीक है, लेकिन प्रैक्टिकली आपका सवाल इसलिए सही नहीं है कि जो कंपनी बैंकरप्ट होने की तरफ बढ़ रही है, क्या उसके पास इतना पैसा होगा कि कोई चीज एडवांस में किसी को दे दे?
Okay. Got
मतलब देखिए, थ्योरेटिकली तो आपकी बात सही है, कंपनी ने पे कर दिया होगा, लेकिन अगर पे कर दिया होगा तो गवर्नमेंट वापस करेगी उसको। लेकिन ये सारी चीजें पेपर पे ठीक है, गवर्नमेंट से पैसा वापस मिलना इतना आसान नहीं है जितना मैंने जबान से कह दिया या किताब में लिख दिया।
Sir, but taxes are not paid in advance.
No, yes, taxes can be paid in advance. Taxes can be paid in advance. अभी मैंने आपको बताया था ना, Q1, Q2, Q3 करके मैंने आपको बताया था। आप एसएस कर लीजिए, एडवांस पे कर दीजिए, एसएस कर लीजिए, एडवांस पे कर दीजिए। रियलिटी में तो कुछ भी हो सकता है। You can earn more profit, you can earn less. What happens in case you have earned less profit but have paid more advance tax? It does happen. For example, for individuals like us, we are salaried employees. So our annual income is estimated. Yearly, we will get so many lakhs of rupees. This much will be our tax liability. Accordingly, taxes are every month deducted more or less. Suppose per month tax liability is 50,000. So approximately 50,000 will be deducted every month. When the year end comes to an end, let's say February, in February, it will be once again calculated. So either the February's tax would be a little more than 50,000 or little less than 50,000 because it has already been estimated. But especially, for example, in these days during pandemic, say certain things government, the university calculated, university estimated that every 6 months this much will be the raise in salary because of dearness allowance, this much will be raised because of several reasons. But that did not happen. So initially, the taxes that the employees paid in the earlier months were more than the taxes that they paid in the remaining months, in the second half of the year, because those estimates were not found correct. So like this, the adjustments can take place. Any other question?
So does owners come in equity dividend?
The owners are equity shareholders. They get equity dividend. Yes. It is dependent on the profit. If there is no profit, they will get no dividend. But preference shareholders will definitely get further. In case there is no profit in a particular year, and company has to pay to preference shareholders, so it can enter into a deal with them, or maybe might have entered a deal prior. In case we are unable to pay in this year, we will pay you next year, including your arrears. 10 rupees of this year and 10 rupees of the next year. So next year they can pay you 20 rupees. So these are all known as cumulative preference shares, wherein dividend is accumulated next to next and next to next year.
सर आपने बताया कि जो है मेजॉरिटी का होता है सर, मेजॉरिटी से
Can you repeat?
सर you said yes sir, you said डिसीजन मेकिंग मतलब कि प्रॉफिट कितना देना है कितना नहीं देना है बोर्ड ऑफ डायरेक्टर्स या एनुअल जनरल
मीटिंग में होता है डिसीजन,
मेजॉरिटी का डिसाइड।
ठीक।
तो सर मेजॉरिटी से मतलब कितना 51% या फिर 60%?
Yes, 51%, correct. 51% of those present and voting. 51% of those present and voting. देखिए प्रैक्टिकली क्या होता है, बिकॉज आई हैव सीन दीज मीटिंग्स, आई हैव अटेंडेड दीज मीटिंग्स अपार्ट फ्रॉम रीडिंग इन द बुक्स, आई हैव बीन अ पार्ट ऑफ मेंबर ऑफ सच प्रोसीडिंग्स. प्रैक्टिकली क्या होता है, assume that there are 1 million shareholders. Theoretically assume each holding 10 shares. Each holding, so there will be 10 million votes. Now when the meeting takes place, of the 7, 3 owners are sitting. They are holding 10,000 shares each. So their voting power becomes 30,000 votes. And of 10 million people, only 100 are present. only 100 are present. So they will be holding only 1000 votes, others will be holding 30,000 votes. So whose decision will prevail? So naturally 1, which is equal to 30,000. In case of government organizations, government undertaking, you think of any example of government undertaking. So the Secretary Ministry of Finance or Secretary of the concerned ministry is present as a shareholder. If government owns 80%, so he alone will be able to take a decision. If government owns just 51%, so theoretically assuming that every shareholder is present, but can they take a decision? Can they, decide? No, because the government is holding 51%. So 51% will prevail. Not even 51%. 50.00001% will be better than 49.9999. So this is how practically it happens. Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
If there are more questions, I can take up, or I'll take you on.